Let's talk about guns, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the bad times that the guns have been causing lately. Let's talk about guns. All right, that was a freebie. That was a free concert for you. My next one's going to be called Push It, the Second Amendment. Push it. Not really. So let me get some things out of the way. I want to talk about guns. That's right, Shaggy. Like zoinks, guys, it's guns. Guns suck. They suck. I'm not one of those people that's like, God, guns, and whatever the heck else. I don't know. But let me get one thing in the clear. I do own a gun. Yes, I own a gun. I own a small handgun. It's a cheapie. I got it because my wife and I were very afraid that our lives were potentially endangered at one time. I won't go into all of that. But then I was also glad I owned that gun because around 2020, election time, some hardcore Trumpers tore up all our local Democrat support signs and yelled a bunch of obscenities at 2 a.m. in the morning, woke up my kids. I didn't get to them in time, but I did grab my gun and go outside. So, again, let me go ahead and throw something else out there real quick. I do not believe that our government is just good and wholesome and great. Don't get me wrong on that. But I also do not believe that the American government, with all their flaws and a lot of dumbass people that are involved in government, I don't think they would ever look to take over the population and really clamp down on us if they were successful in taking our guns. That's kind of a bleak and conspiracy-ish outlook to have. Everyone always thinks the worst, and that's me too. Sometimes I lay awake at night thinking about the worst things that's ever happened to me and the worst things that could possibly happen to me. But I don't really think about it in terms of man, if America steals all our guns, then they're going to put the clamp down on us, make us work in sweatshops and shit. I don't think that's going to happen in my lifetime. I think as we let dumber fucks hold government seats, it gets more likely in the future, distant future. But I really don't think that would happen. And with all that being said, if the government did say we are banning all guns, all of them, all guns banned, hand them over, I'm going to tell you, I will gladly hand mine over. Now, I know that would put me at risk still because there's going to be people that acquire guns illegally. Is that a guy carrying a gun right fucking now? I don't know what that was. That was scary and odd. I don't think it was a gun, but it sure looked like it could be. But I would hand my gun over. And I would just take the chance that I would never need that gun, as if that meant there was a better chance that no kid would ever be shot in a school again. Again, I know the chance of that never happening again is unlikely, but if giving up my gun along with everyone giving up their guns cut that down by even one fucking life that shouldn't have been lost, I will give up my gun. I'm not that attached to it. I literally have it for protection, locked in a box, stored away, where I can get to it quickly, hidden in a very cool way. And quite frankly, I'm not even comfortable having it in my house. I hate that it's in my house, but I also hate the area that I live in. And it's not a terrible area, but there has been some fuckery that has happened in my area, and people are just getting more desperate and dumb, and not just dumb. People are getting more unhinged. I would gladly give up my gun if I knew that everyone else had to give up theirs. Yes, I know, nothing's perfect. Loopholes are going to happen. People are going to have guns still, but, you take them all, which again, if they tried to take them all, you'd have half of America fucking wanting to shoot the people coming to take their guns. It'd be a huge mess. But man, something should happen to where we can't just get our hands on these and go shoot up schools and shit. Something should happen there. Like restrictions. Like that's not really doing much. It's pretty terrifying, honestly. There's too many, like in my opinion, we're in a state of mental health crisis like none that we've ever had in my lifetime that I've seen. And like young kids going through the pandemic and, lockdown and all this shit like that has fucked with some heads. It fucked with my head, and I'm a grown man. I'm 40. It fucked with me, It fucked with me in a lot of ways. And I think I came out the other side just fine, but not everybody is going to. It's a dangerous time for a citizen who's never been in trouble to get a gun. They haven't been in trouble yet because probably because they're young and they just haven't gotten in trouble yet, but they might be very tortured. And I would give up my gun in a heartbeat to make sure no school shooting ever happened. To make sure, that would be the root of it. Anyways, again, it would happen still. It's unfortunate. Like, you can't stop everybody. But I would gladly give away my gun. And it cracks me up, dude. Like, seeing pictures of people who hold government seats and their kids with fucking AK-16s. Like, who the fuck needs that? Like, is there going to be a mob of fucking intruders that come to your house? Like 20 of them to try to kill you? Is there going to be a mob of them and you need an AK to, like, take them all out? Is that really a fucking possibility? Like, I don't think so. It's fucking crazy, man. People justify their guns. And I'm sorry. To me, guns are yet another toxic masculinity factor. Makes the little man feel bigger. Don't get me wrong again. There are some people that guns are their hobby. And they would never hurt anybody with those guns unless approached by someone who wants to do harm to them. And I get that. Like, shooting a gun at a gun range, pretty fun. Honestly, pretty fun. Good times. It is fun. But, I don't know. Even just owning something small, I would be much more reassured that we're going in the right direction if we simply just banned semi-automatics and automatics. Like, you want to cut it down to, like, you can own a handgun for your safety? Okay. Like, I don't necessarily have a massive problem with that. I still would rather them just disappear. I still wish someone would just, like, do this and all weapons would just disintegrate. Like, what do we really need them for? I wish to God governments would just give up all their weapons as well. Like, how about we just give up weapons and give up any aircraft with weapons attached and really actually go for peace? It's a pipe dream. It'll never happen. But again, I'll hand my gun over in a heartbeat. No hesitation. No questions asked. I mean, the whole world is just a shit show. Like, if you can do one thing that could have a cause for another thing to get better in the world, why not do it? Instead of holding on to your gun and be like, Second Amendment, motherfucker! Woo, Bud Light! Well, not anymore. Not anymore on the Bud Light. Yeah, nobody likes the Bud Light anymore because, oh my God, they supported somebody that's not the typical Bud Light drinking hilljack. That's another thing, man. Real quick. Maybe not real quick. Maybe longer than real quick. The reason you got these Brantley Gilberts and Travis Tritts and Kid Rocks all acting a fool over Bud Light and the Dylan Mulvaney thing. Seriously? Like, really? It's so dumb, dude. The problem with all that is simply exposure. It is simply exposure. You put a person in transition in Brantley Gilbert's family, someone he's grown up to love. Same thing with Travis Tritt, Kid Rock. Like, I'm not saying this is a for sure thing, but like, if you're not exposed to anyone who's different from you, that is how you act. I had a friend who had a friend when I was younger who claimed he was racist. We all laughed at him because we knew he wasn't racist. He was just fucking insecure. Again, back then, in the 90s, like, we didn't just overlook it. We just thought he was full of shit. As you grow and things become more concrete, like, I couldn't be friends with that guy now. Even if he claims he's the least bit racist or hateful towards any people, because I don't have time for that in my life. When you're young and you grow up in an area where that's normal, like, I still bucked against it and told him he was a fucking dumbass, but, you know, I was not mature enough with where I was at mentally to just be like, dude, I don't think I can be friends with you just for talking like that. Like, you're young, you grow up, you tolerate different things. Not saying that makes it right. But this friend in particular claimed he was racist. We laughed and like, you are fucking not. Like, every single person of color that's ever came into our life, you like and enjoy because you're exposed and you find out, oh, they're humans. Oh, they have, what? Just like me? Except just not completely the same skin tone, which me and that friend also didn't have the same skin tone. Like, he was much more olive than me. Should I have hated him for it? Well, you know, in his book, I guess I should have. But like, the exposure is what changes things. Like, if you're around people and you see that people are good, no matter how different they are, like, that changes your perception. Not everyone. I'm sure there's going to be more people that are hateful no matter what, because that's just how things go. But just exposure to different walks of life. And that's why I hate where I live, because exposure here is minimal. Very, very minimal. It's getting better, but it's minimal. You know, it's not a very diverse area. So, of course, everyone around here is like, I ain't drinking no goddamn Bud Light. It's about time. It tasted like shit anyways, dude. It's fucking piss water. Fucking trash. I'm switching to Coors. Oh, they don't support any kind of different communities, do they? Not at all. Most beer companies, they don't support, you know, human beings in general, do they? People are going to have to quit drinking beer, I'm telling you that. It's just fucking mind-blowing. It's so goofy. And I don't care what anyone says. The toxic masculinity of it. That's the root of it. Kids that didn't get hugged enough by their fathers, taught that a man is just a fucking beast and we do this and do. Fuck, man. It's exhausting. It is exhausting. And at the same time, I've met plenty of guys and gals who drink Bud Light, shoot big guns, and talk a big game, but they're not. But they're also ones I've met are not hateful, because they have that other switch in their head that's like, just because I'm into the redneck way of life doesn't mean I am a hateful, you know, Joe Dirt. Not a hateful Joe Dirt. I'm a fun Joe Dirt. Those Joe Dirts are fun as shit. The ones that are like all loving, but just are a product of where they were raised in all the other ways besides hate. That's good stuff. Those people are fun. And some of the people around here that you would look at and just think that they are, you know, you judge the book by its cover and think like, oh boy, Bud Light, gun-toting, Bud Light swilling, gun-toting, you know, hateful, this and that. That's not the case, man. You cannot judge a book by its cover, even when it comes to stuff like that. It just doesn't work. Oh, a lot of ball games going on today. I don't know. Just wanted to rant about all that a little bit. The gun thing just, especially around here too. Like, the people around here where I live and their guns, my God, they love their guns. There's the government. Come take my gun. See what happens. Oh boy. Until next time, folks. Peace out.